there, and welcome to Hey There, the podcast. I'm Captain Equine, and this is the first ever episode celebrating the new year. This is how it's going to work. We have 4 segments to this podcast. The first one is Quizators. It's where I invite a visitor onto the podcast, and they answer the questions of that month's quiz to see how they stack up. The second segment is O or Nay. This is where I gather stories from our subscribers to tell onto the podcast. The third one is 2 eyes or not 2 eyes. This is a special one for this month where I go over horses that only have 1 eye, still taking on the challenge of being a horse and racing. The final segment is Year of the Horse, where we talk about how people who were born in the last year of the horse and the year of the horse before that are faring during this year and what it means for the rest of us. Let's get right on into it. Hi, Officer Equine.
Hello.
So this is how this is going to work. I'm going to give you the questions that were in this month's quiz. You are going to have to answer them, then I'll tell you whether you were right or wrong. These are multiple choice questions, and you have 20 seconds to answer each one.
Got it.
Okay, the first one. When is the year of the horse? 2025, 2024, 2023, or 2026?
2024.
You are correct. Moving on to the next one. What are thoroughbreds normally used for? Answer A is track racing. Answer B is barrel racing. Answer C is pole bending.
Track racing.
Correct. What kind of tea can a horse have? Plain ginger tea, ginger tea with other spices, ginger, yarrow, and cinnamon.
They actually can't have ginger.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I need to go undo that question.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Okay, then what other types of tea can?
They can have lavender, non-stress, digestive tea that doesn't have ginger in it. Yeah. They can have rose hips. Nothing that's caffeinated.
Okay then.
Poison them, but they're gonna be a pain in the butt.
Is glitter toxic for horses' hoofs or no?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And the final question, what do horses celebrate? A, leaving a trailer, B, New Year's, and C, entering a trailer.
I'm pretty sure leaving a trailer. It's kind of a non-air-conditioned box on wheels.
Correct. Well, that's the end of Quizators. I'm going to go fix that question now. All right, we're back. So we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. Officer Equine, what's your New Year's resolution?
Horse-based or in general?
Horse-based.
I like to be able to get Thunder, my horse that I'm training, to be able to taxi over to me on my mount.
Nice.
What about you?
I'm hoping to get Mac, my colt that I'm training, to be able to, well, he's actually doing pretty good, so just be good.
Oh wow. 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 Well, Thunder can give me kisses, so...
So can Mac. Uh-huh.
Deliberately?
Uh-huh.
No.
He sometimes headbutts me, but most of the time it's kisses.
No. Can he do spins? Absolutely.
I mean, if I spin in a circle, he'll follow me.
No. No lead rope attached.
No lead rope attached. He follows me around
I'm gonna have to see
like
that,
a duckling.
I generally do not believe you.
Okay.
We move on to the next segment, Captain Equine. I wanted to do a special tarot card reading for our viewers' New Year's. How 2024 is going to go, basically.
Well, okay. Let me just go ahead and pull out a camera that isn't an iPhone. I'm just kidding. I don't have a camera that isn't attached to a phone. Okay. How is the New Year's going to go for our viewers? Sorry, Captain Equine's viewers. If you guys do not notice, they are, in fact, cats. It says that it is going to be easygoing. You guys are going to get a lot, but only if you're subscribed. I'm just kidding. That was a cheap ploy. Is that it? Yep. It looks like it's all going to go good. We're going to have a relaxing year compared to 2020.
in 2023 for some of us. Hopefully there's not going to be any more deaths, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Let's move on to the next segment, O or Nay, where I tell your horse stories that you've given me over the past month. Let's get it started into this story submitted by a viewer. Once I was riding a spicy mare named Daisy and she took off, and at that time I could not trot, so then I decided that it would be a good idea to kick and make her mad. Well, that backfired, and she ended up cantering, and I was not prepared. I fell over to the side, and I was just there, barely hanging on. And it was gravel, and I almost fell off. But luckily, my sister was up there, and she was able to stop Daisy, and nobody was hurt. Good thing that nobody got hurt. Daisy does certainly sound like a spicy mare. I've had ridden several of those, and we still have one at my barn that I haven't ridden yet, and probably won't for at least a year, and I'm terrified for the day that I do. The next story is, I had a horse at my party once when I was younger named Lightning. He nibbled my shoulder, but it didn't hurt. It was just scary at the time. That does sound scary, especially if it was with teeth. And on to the final story. A neighbor kid missed his bus, and parents left for work. The 10-year-old boy threw a saddle on his horse and rode it to school and tied it to the bike rack. The principal doing morning rounds did a double take when he walked by a window close to the bike rack with a horse tied to it. The principal followed boy and horse home, and he drove him back to school. Now that sounds like something I wish I could have done in public school. That would have been amazing. Riding a horse to school, absolutely amazing. Well, that's the end of O or Nay. On to the next segment. This segment is called Two Eyes or Not Two Eyes. It's where we go over horses that, even though they lost an eye, are still doing amazing in their jobs. Just because your horse loses an eye does not mean you have to stop riding them, does not mean that they have to stop doing your discipline, does not mean that you two have to stop being best friends or you have to sell them and get a new horse. None of that is something that you need. You just need to adjust the way you perform in order to help your horse adjust the way he or she has to perform. So I'm going to go over a few examples of people who managed to do this perfectly. So let's get started on the first person. I'm sorry for any mispronouncing. I'm not good at that sort of stuff. But Trevor, either Ben or Beans, Adventure Decon, won the 2014 Hexsteed Derby after finishing as the runner-up in the 2013 Derby. Well, that's really cool. I don't know much about show jumping, but it's supposed to be a bigger competition. My cat just got the zoomies. But let's move right on. And another show jumping one. A lot of these are show jumping. I found a lot of those. There's no way I can pronounce this word, so read it. I guess there's absolutely no way. This horse, who was ridden by Malene Baryard Johnson, competed in the 2010 and 2015 European Championships and the 2013, 2011, and 2014 World Cup Finals. Sounds awesome. Again, I don't really know much about show jumping or jumping in general, but I'm assuming that those are pretty big accomplishments, especially the World Cup, because judging by things I've learned off Harry Potter, that's a pretty big competition. Here's some stuff I actually will understand. For breakaway, Jordan Miner's Mojo ran a 2.3 second run at the Pendleton, winning $3,780. They continued to compete the whole year of 2022 and ended up with a total of $12,780. And that is super impressive. I have a horse that used to be the horse that would go and pick up the rider after they rode on the bull, and he's absolutely terrified of cows now. He does not do good with them. He has a blind spot in his eye, we assume from an accident, but we have no confirmation. So after losing an eye, I can't imagine how spooked that horse must have been. It must have taken a lot of training and a lot of hard work to get him to be comfortable around those barrels again. Not barrels. Cows again. Sorry. And this is Thunder. He lost his eye in early 2023. He has been adjusting to not having a second eye during this year, but has been ridden on and off. He's still super fast, and he still loves his work. My sister, Officer Equine, this is her horse. He was my horse before he was her horse, but whenever I got older and couldn't ride him anymore, she took over, and she's teaching him Liberty, which I have a few how-to videos on my channel if you want to check those out. And he really is the most amazing horse, with an eye or with not an eye. You just have to be careful whenever you're approaching on the eye side because, well, they can't see you. You have to just give them a couple words, like just say, "Hey, bud, I'm coming over," and that's it. Yeah, and here's a few tips on just when you get a one-eyed horse, and if you never want your horse to go one-eyed. It's a sad thing, even if it's not the end of the world. You treat it like you treat a anxious horse. So if you have a horse that gets scared of things, like I have a horse that's scared of doors and refuses to go anywhere near them. So you just treat them like that. You understand that they have that issue, and you slowly work on helping them. You make adjustments in order for them to go through that door, or for them to be able to run those barrel patterns. So say you're running barrel patterns and he can't see on the side that you see the most barrels on. So if you run to the right, let me do that math real quick. If you run to the right side of the barrel pattern and the left, and he can't see on the left side, then start running to the left where he can, so the more barrels are on the side that he can see on. Just do small things like that. And you can work on desensitizing them slowly using the same methods as somebody trying to make a bomb-proof horse. So walk them over tarps, wiggle things in front of them. Get them used to those noises because now they're going to be about 10 times scarier. Just be patient. Work with them. When working, trying to stay on the side that they can see you on, especially in the beginning. And when you're not on it, try and make your commands more physical, more, using your voice than using your hand and stuff like that. That might not be a problem for some people, but for Liberty, it can be a bit of an issue. More, like I said earlier, warn them when you walk up on their eyeless side and give them time to adjust. They aren't super horses. They can't tell you that, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're trying to show me. I can't see there. You have to give them time to adjust. Tune into what your horse needs. And the final segment, Year of the Horse. We're going to go over people who were born in the last year of the horse, the year of the horse before that, the year of the horse before that, and the year of the horse before that. How your all's year are going to go. This is going to be pretty basic information, but I hope y'all enjoy this segment. So if you were born in 2014 or 1998, how will your year go? Or any of the years before that. I'm not great at math, so I don't want to continue. You will have a great year. You will advance in your career through hard work and teamwork. And your lucky colors are going to be red. You won't have any major health problems, just minor overall, and you need to be sure to de-stress. Now have an amazing year, everybody. And this is the end of Hey There, the podcast. Now, I know I said the last one was the final segment, but I have a quick surprise one. Bloopers, because there was a lot. And I mean a lot. Enjoy the year. Hey there, and welcome back to... Hey there, and welcome to Hey There, the podcast. I'm Captain Equine, and this is the first ever episode of, Hey There, the podcast. Hey there, and welcome to Hey There, the podcast. I'm your host, Captain Equine, and welcome to the January's edition, or the first edition. Hey there, and welcome back to Hey There, the podcast. I'm your host, Captain Equine. I swear to God. Just go. Stop. Just let me do this.
You better have kept that.
Hey there, and welcome to Hey There, the podcast. I'm Captain Equine, your host. I just messed up there, and now I can't get it out of my... Hey there, and welcome to Hey There, the podcast. Come on!